What's up, guys? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with a new Monarch video here, showcasing one of the best cards in the deck, which I think happens to be a Revolt here. This card, I think, bridges the deck and gives the deck such a major boost in consistency that I don't think people have really showed you like all the different lines that Revolt can do, because Revolt is kind of a cracked card. You reveal 3, your opponent gives you 1, and the other 2 go to grave, so it's literally a Rhoda and a Foolish Burial for 2 all in one card, not to mention that you can banish it to be able to summon a Squire from your hand. So like this card I think is truly one of the best card to come out from the new support. The next one I actually think would be Master Plan or Idos, the Monarch. I think it's up in the air. But this card right here is just insane, and I wanted to show you guys the 3 cards you almost always reveal if your hand is, or that you're always revealing if your hand's bad, right? But of course, depending on your hand, you have to reveal accordingly. You know, if you don't have no Squires, if you have Squires, if you have Tribute Summons, etc., etc. But please remember, if you guys enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell, and don't forget to hit that join button if you want to help support the channel directly, supporting the content and all that stuff. Everything gets put back into the channel, get knighted, all that fine stuff. Also, you know, go ahead and check out our sponsors down below, Dueling Guard. Use that link in the description to get 15% off your purchase at checkout, and everything I said that goes into the channel comes right back into it. So without further ado, we'll start with the Monarch's Revolt. So you activate Monarch's Revolt pitching a card. You're always, in my opinion, I think these are the best 3 to always reveal: Erebus, Tessera, and Idos, the Underworld Monarch. So these 3 are what you're always revealing. Each one has different outcomes. I think Erebus and Idos are very, you don't need any other cards in your hand. These could be literal blanks, but Teresa requires, if they give you Teresa, you have to have another Monarch spell and trap in your hand if you don't have another Tribute Summon. So that's the only one that matters. But we will go ahead and work through going like little, small, big, right? So we'll go ahead and say we get the Teresa, just to go ahead and showcase what you'll need. So if they give you Teresa, this is where you do need another Monarch spell or trap. So you go ahead and activate the Erebus in your graveyard, pitching the Monarch spell or trap you have to target the Idos to add it back to your hand. Now, if you have another Monarch spell or trap, you can reveal it for Tessera, but if you don't, that's okay, because the Monarch's Revolt allows you to banish it to go ahead and summon out the Tessera, and then you can activate Tessera's effect to go ahead and immediately Tribute Summon. So you Tribute Summon out the Idos, and then, of course, you have Chainlink 1 Idos, Chainlink 2 Tessera, or, you know, depending on your hand, you can Chain Block a different way. Now, of course, Chainlink 1 will be the Idos in this scenario, and the Chainlink 2, of course, I said would be Tessera, summoning out the Idea from the deck. And then Idos searches a Monarch spell or trap, or it searches a 2800 attack, 1000 defense monster. So you can search out Aether, you can search out Zaborg, which could possibly be the way to go, Zaborg, or you can search any of your Monarch, like I said, any of your Monarch spell or traps. This is also like very interesting. So like you can just pretty much get Domain right away. However, I don't really like the feeling of Domain. It also really depends on your other cards in your hand, because, like, you know, like I said, it really truly depends. So with that being said, I think the best call is to go ahead and grab Zaborg in this scenario, because you can grab Domain and you activate Domain, and that's one of the deck's win conditions, right? So if you get the Domain, you activate Domain, pass, and then it's literally just have to attack over Idos, and that's that, right? That's it. So it's not too detrimental. It's not too hard to out, I'd say. In some hands it can be, but for the safety, I think this is the better plan to go for. And you go right here, summon out Idos affecting an additional tribute. So now you go ahead and use your additional tribute to tribute out your Zaborg. Zaborg will be Chainlink 1, targeting itself. Chainlink 2 will be Idea, adding back the Monarch's Revolt, which is good in the sense that when this destroys itself, you rip your opponent's extra deck for 8 cards. So that means they really can't play, but also what that does give you is a crazy follow-up in your graveyard here. So during the opponent's turn, you get the Monarch spell or trap back, pitch for Erebus to end up adding it back. And then, of course, Idos gets destroyed by battle. It is what it is. No big deal. The one thing I don't like about this particular sequence, you could go for Aether, is Aether would get you into another Aether, essentially give you more disruption, but it would not potentially give you the lock that you're going for, because when if you add Aether instead of Zaborg, you end up Aethering out, you dump Pantheism and the Prime, and then you reveal Pantheism, banish Pantheism, excuse me, to reveal 3, and your opponent can give you anything you want, essentially, but you're going to reveal Domain, Erupt, and probably another Pantheism, to be honest, and then there you go. You could potentially reveal Stormforth too. That's just kind of a better way. I'll show you guys what happens in that case, where if you add the Aether as well, just because it's better that way, just to show you the sequence here. So really easy to backtrack here. You grab yourself either instead of the Zaborg, and then you just go ahead and normal summon like you would with the Zaborg out the Aether, Chainlink 1 Aether, Chainlink 2 Idea, add back, you send 2, like I said, you send the Prime and Pantheism, you summon out another Aether, and then you can banish the Pantheism to be able to reveal 3. Again, I would probably reveal Pantheism, Domain, and Erupt, just because in this scenario, if they give you Pantheism, you can attempt to draw 2 with it. And if you have another Monarch stat card in your hand, you can also reveal Tenacity and then search out either one of these. But it's just another... It's a little bit more than what you think is going to happen. So if they don't give you the Domain or the Erupt, because that'd be silly, right? They'd give you Pantheism. So you're going to essentially draw 2 regardless with this Pantheism. It doesn't really matter what you draw. We'll just draw 2 random cards. But during the end phase, Aether will go back to your hand. So then you have Disruption during your opponent's turn, in the sense that when they commit something, you can go either to tribute out Idos, just summon out this Aether. Then you can go Chainlink 1 Aether, Chainlink 2 Idos. Idos will summon itself out. This Aether will send, this time you must send Master Plan, and then you can send any random when you want to go ahead and summon out Glare. And then you can use the Idos to search out your Domain, to search out your Stormforth, whatever you want, but we'll just search out Domain for the follow-up here. And then, now this is more Disruption. So you have a Snatch Steal with the Glare, and you have the Prime plus Master Plan set up to where you can banish, use Master Plan, banishing the... Excuse me, use Prime banishing the Master Plan, summon, search out Caius, and tribute, you know? So, like, you have 2 forms of disruption underneath that, which, again, isn't a lock, but it could be. It's just a lot of, like, what if. But anyway, we'll back it up and we'll showcase you what happens when you get given the Idos instead of the Teresa. Okay? So you use Monarch Revolt, pitching your 1 card, and instead your opponent decides to give you the Idos. Idos goes to hand, and then Teresa will trigger in the graveyard to summon out Idea. And then, of course, Idea will summon out our Idos. And then Idos effect will allow you to get an additional normal summon. Wherever Idos went, I should have had this organized. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So there we go. So there we go. Summon out these. And then, of course, Idos additional normal summon. So again, if you have an additional spell or trap, you can add back Erebus. You don't have to. But you go ahead and use the additional normal to go ahead and tribute off the Idos, using the effect of Idos to search. So then you can add pretty much any card you really, really want. You can add Pantheism, I believe. You can add Pantheism to your hand, and then you can go Erebus's effect, pitching itself to add back the Erebus. Then you can banish Pantheism to reveal 3 Tenacity. And then you can go Tenacity, revealing the Erebus to go ahead and search out your Domain, wherever it is, Domain, or you can search out your Erupt. But I'm not a big fan of Erupt, I'm not going to lie. I've not been having good luck with Erupt in the sense that it's been really turning off my crackback when I do see it. So I think I might look into playing potentially either Escalation or the new trap. That new trap that has like the one effect of all the Monarchs. It's pretty wild, but I've been really thinking of Escalation because there's sometimes you just have tribute summons in your hand and you could just tribute out during the opponent's turn, which would be kind of nice. And it gives you an additional tribute, so then you can essentially you get a lot of tributes. It would just, yeah. It would be something to think about. I'm not totally sold on it because Erupt is an insane card, but I also just think that Erupt sometimes, like a few games I've had, Erupt's killed me more often than it's not. But anyway, we're right here, right? You then can go ahead and you can activate Domain, use Domain's effect, revealing the Erebus, and then use your normal summon if you want to into Erebus, Chainlink 1 Erebus, Chainlink 2 Idea to add back the Pantheism. Erebus will send the Master Plan and your Prime Monarch to the graveyard. There's non-targeting, shuffle a card from the opponent's hand. So now you Domain locked them, you've hand looped them for 1, and then you have double normal summon on the field, tribute summon, so Domain is live, and then you have the ability with the Prime Monarch and the Master Plan to be able to potentially summon out Caius, which is really crazy. But also to point out, if you do have an additional normal summon in your hand, another monster, you can banish the Idos to summon out the Teresa, and then use Teresa's effect to immediately normal summon. You can use that as well. But something to also note, you do get some crazy follow-up in the sense of Master Plan in this. Banish, summon, Master Plan will search you the Caius. Assuming they put a dark out, you know, if they put out a light, you can search out your Majesty's Fiend. You can't normal summon it right away, but you still can search for a monster with the Monarch stats. And I just passed Caius, I swear. Caius, and then you would go Tribute Summon the Master, and then you go Chainlink 1, Caius, Chainlink 2, Idos to come back. Idos would give us another search for Aether. So, like, the boards are layered. So you get Aether, and then, of course, you can go Aether by tributing 2 if you want to, or tributing either of these ones, and then Aether will summon out. You'd have to do 2 if you want to get the full Aether, because you don't have space. No, you'd have space, never mind. You just tribute 1, summon out the other. So you could do it. You could just... Sometimes I like to free up space here, so like you could definitely tribute these 2 for Aether, and then dump a Master Plan, summon out Seal Glare, and then Seal Glare bounces back. So, yeah, so that's it if you get the Idos. Now we'll go ahead and run through what happens when you get Erebus. All right, guys, so Monarch's Revolt. Pitching the Stormforth, your opponent decides to give you Erebus, which is probably the best card to give. Hopefully they don't ever give you Erebus, but if they don't know what the cards do, they might give you Erebus, or if you already open Erebus, you just reveal a different card, so then they're going to give you something. They might give you Aether. I found when I show my opponent Aether, they're always giving it to me, so then these 2 go off, so you just get to Erebus for free. But anyway, you know what happens here. Same tale before. Teresa triggers, summoning out the Adia, and then Adia effect to summon out the Idos. Idos will give us an additional normal, and there we go. So this is pretty solid here. The only scary thing... Well, it's not even scary. We can literally... It's wild. So you tribute summon using the Idos' normal summon into the Erebus. You go Chainlink 1 Erebus, Chainlink 2 Idos. Idos will summon itself. Erebus will send 2. You send Pantheism and the Prime to go ahead and shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand back. And then you have the ability to add a... Let's just go ahead and add Aether off of this right here. So then you can banish the Pantheism. You reveal to your opponent 3 Tenacity. Then you activate Tenacity, you search for Domain, and then you can go ahead and use your actual normal summon if you want to. Or you can go ahead and banish Idos to summon back out the Adia, and then you go ahead and tribute here for Aether. Chainlink 1 Aether, Chainlink 2 Adia, grab your Pantheism. Aether will then send the Monarch's Master Plan, and you send any other Monarch spell that you want to, so like the Revolt. It does not matter. The only thing you want is the Prime and Master Plan in rotation, and then you summon out from your deck another copy of either. You then go ahead and activate your Master Plan. Not much, yeah, activate Domain of the True Monarchs. Sorry, a Domain expansion. You get no extra deck. In phase, Aether bounces back, and this is the setup. This is what the giving Erebus will do, which is kind of crazy because you've hand looped them for 1. You could potentially hand loop them for 2 if you didn't want to search either. You could literally hand loop them potentially for 3. Honestly, in that scenario. Maybe I'll do a separate video showcasing that loop 3 combo, but essentially what you do to quickly give it to you guys real quick so the video doesn't go on too long. You normal summon, you do the Erebus, normal summon Erebus, rip 1. Idos searches another Erebus, you tribute over the first Erebus, and then instead of bringing out the Adia, you bring out the Tessera to give you another normal summon, you tribute over, but you have to have like another Monarch spell or trap in your hand to be able to pitch back, so you can add back the first Erebus, so you can hand loop for 3 cards, 1, 2, 3, and then you get access to Domain through it, I believe. So, yeah, well, maybe if that's enough people, comment down below if you guys want to see that sequence, see that combo. I'd gladly show it. But what we're looking at now is an Aether to be able to summon itself out by dumping 2. Again, it does not matter the 2 you dump. You can dump whatever you don't want to draw, and then you summon out Seal Glare. And then, of course, on the summon, the Idos can come out to search you another card, such as Stormforth. If you want to, you can search your Stormforth, whatever you want to search for, really, whatever. Well, we had the 3 Stormforth in the beginning, so just search Return or something like that. And then you do have the issue here with space. So actually, hold up. You got to be very careful then. So then if you use the... You'd want to tribute off 2. You want to tribute off 2, so then when Idos comes out, you have an open space to be able to use the Prime Monarch, banishing the Master Plan. So then you could, like, target a dark, search Caius, tribute summon for Caius, and banish. So, like, it is a little bit... It's an extra deck lock with very few forms of disruption, which is just enough. But, yeah, sorry, guys. I do apologize. This is not normally as put together as I, like, want the video to be. It was just more so a thought of, like, as I was getting ready to go to my job, I was like, I really need to get the video out of showcasing this combo. So I do apologize. It seems like if it's a little bit, like, not so put together. But worst case, hopefully this shows you those 3 cards. Like, you should always, in case, depending, revealing the Tessera, Idos, and Erebus. And you just, craft your board and go from there. But again, you guys stay safe, stay healthy. This is Charles from Team COG, signing out.